The room is silent, but your mind is screaming. You look at the first question. You know the answer. But then, the what-ifs start. What if I fail? What if I forget everything? Your heart is a drum. Your palms are wet. You are drowning in a sea of thoughts, while sitting in a dry chair. You are not fighting the test. You are fighting yourself. But let me tell you that overthinking is not a sign that you care. It is a sign of a brain that is trying to protect you from a ghost. You aren't afraid of the exam. You are afraid of a version of the future that does not exist at all. You are fighting a shadow, and the shadow is winning. Let's talk about the science of your fear. When you overthink, your brain enters a state called analysis paralysis. Your amygdala, the part of the brain that handles danger, takes over. It thinks the exam is a predator. It thinks the paper is a lion. So it shuts down your logical brain to save energy. This is why you forget the answer you knew 5 minutes ago. Your brain has literally locked the door to your memory. Studies show that students who overthink perform 20% worse than those who stay calm. It is not about IQ, it is about emotional control. There is a psychological rule called the Yerkes-Dodson Law. It says you need a little bit of stress to perform. But when that stress turns into overthinking, your performance falls off a cliff. Think about a boy named Carl. Carl was a top student in a small town in Ohio. He studied more than anyone else in his school. He knew every formula. He knew every historical date. But when he walked into the exam hall, his mind turned into a storm. Carl would read one simple question and suddenly imagine his whole life falling apart. He imagined failing, losing his chance at a good college, and the look of disappointment on his father's face. He spent 40 minutes worrying, and only 20 minutes writing. Carl was the smartest person in the room, but he had the lowest grades on the paper. Carl wasn't trying to pass. He was trying to be flawless. And because humans are not flawless, his brain stayed in a constant state of red alert. How do you stop this? How did Carl break the chain? You must realize that overthinking is a habit, not a personality trait. You can break it. Step 1. Use the brain dump method. Before the exam starts, write down every single fear on a piece of scrap paper. Put the what-ifs on the page. Write down, I am afraid I will forget the math formulas. Write down, I am afraid of failing. Once they are on paper, they are out of your head. You have externalized the enemy. You have moved the fear from your soul to the trash can. Step 2. Focus on the next small action. Overthinking happens because you are looking at the whole mountain. You are thinking about the grade you will get next month. Stop. Look at your feet. Do not think about the whole exam. Do not think about the final score. Only think about the sentence you are writing right now. One word, then the next. Focus on the ink hitting the paper. Nothing else exists. Step 3. Control your biology. Use box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. This sends a physical signal to your brain. It tells your amygdala, there is no lion. We are safe. You cannot be in a state of panic if your breathing is slow and rhythmic. It is a biological hack. Numbers don't lie. Most of the things you worry about never actually happen. Research shows that 85% of the things we worry about have a neutral or positive outcome. You are wasting your mental battery on a lie. You are practicing for a disaster that isn't coming. The exam is just a data point. It is a snapshot of one day. It does not define your value as a human being. It does not measure your soul. It only measures how much information you can put on a page in 2 hours. That is all it is. Carl eventually learned this. He stopped trying to be perfect. He realized that a B grade with a calm mind is better than an A grade with a broken spirit. He started focusing on the process, not just the result. The change was massive. Carl went from the boy shaking in the hallway to the leader of his class. He didn't study more hours. He just got a new perspective. He realized that the monster in his head was actually just a small voice that he finally learned to ignore. To win the exam, you must first win the battle inside your head. Stop predicting disasters. Focus on the task, not the what if. Trust the work you have already done. You have the knowledge. Now, give yourself the permission to use it. Don't let your thoughts build a cage around your potential.